Hey guys, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
We're two lifelong friends and musicians, but when we're not playing gigs, we like to talk games.
And today on the Gaming Gig Podcast, we're discussing the increasingly negative narrative around the upcoming release of Skyrim in space. Starfield.
Well, Daniel, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of people seem to be fairly negative towards Starfield for one reason or another. I mean, we put out a poll, and we'll go over the results here in a minute. But just asking, kind of judging how many people were interested in playing Starfield.
Yeah.
And what I found is that it's actually, the comments were overwhelmingly super negative for some reason.
Well, I think we both know why. Maybe it has a bad rap before it's even had a chance to gain a reputation.
Right.
It's because of this small little indie development team called Bethesda. I don't think that's a secret.
No, I do think that it's largely a Bethesda problem. And I don't, Starfield being, developed by Bethesda definitely hurts it.
Yeah.
But what's really weird is I thought in my mind, Bethesda is still one of those top tier, developers. And I think people generally really like their games, but it seems like for some reason, the narrative around Bethesda has shifted, definitely over the last number of years. We can probably look at Fallout 76 as probably being the straw that broke the camel's back, or at least the thing that started the wave of hate towards Bethesda.
Yeah.
But even I've even noticed that people have retroactively started kind of hating on games like Skyrim and maybe some other things like.
Who does that?
I'm serious.
I haven't seen any of that.
I've heard the narrative of people saying Skyrim maybe wasn't as good as people are making out to be. It's not I don't know.
Okay.
I have some theories on that too.
Let me jump in here. So you said I think the problem is clearly that Bethesda is the developer, and I agree.
Yeah.
But based on what you're saying and what the internet is saying, people have forgotten that Bethesda doesn't have to be a problem. It could be the greatest asset ever to a game. Because they did give us Skyrim, people, and it was as good as you think it was. It's dated and it gets older every day, and it feels it.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
But on midnight of 11/11/11, that was the greatest game I had ever played. And it was the greatest game you'd played too. So don't forget.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Skyrim in a little bit because there's some comments addressing this that I think are interesting. But first, let's talk about Starfield. So put out a poll saying, are you going to play Starfield? And we got here 63% of people saying no, they're not going to play it, and only 37% of people saying yes.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me because when we put out one of these polls about are you going to play a game, what I've noticed is that it's not usually overwhelmingly yes, unless it's something, even Tears of the Kingdom, I don't know that was overwhelmingly yes.
It was above 50%.
It was yes, way less no's, and then some I'm not interested.
Right.
No.
So,
this didn't have a third option, but.
No. But I just kind of wanted to get a yes or no, are you going to play it? Yes or no? The only games that I can think of in recent memory that have crossed that, more people saying yes than no are Tears of the Kingdom. The Resident Evil 4 remake had above 50% people saying yes. So
it has to be one of the greatest games of all time or a remake of one of the greatest games of all time.
But you would think Starfield would be up there because it's so much hype. It's been so many years that you would think that more people would be, more than 37% of people polled would be interested in playing this game. You would think. Yeah.
I mean, I consider myself a pretty massive Bethesda fan still to this day. But Fallout 76, I did not play. And it certainly, tainted my view. And because of that, I'm not going to jump on the hype train for Starfield just full force. I am excited to play it, and like I've said before on this very show, I am ready to be hurt again. But I know that there's a possibility I could be hurt again. So that's why I'm not just hype, to the max.
Still though, I do think I was surprised that only 37% of people said yes to this.
Yeah.
And the main reason that I'm surprised by that is actually addressed in our first comment here we have, which is from D1 Usions of Grandeur, who said, kind of surprising when Xbox games are the most available out of any gaming exclusive exclusives, playable on Xbox, PC, mobile, tablet, and now even some smart TVs all day one. Hell, I would be happy if Sony at least did day one PC. That would at least be something, and Nintendo is perfectly fine doing nothing. But great point. It's available everywhere.
Yeah. They're definitely the easiest games to get your hands on. Oftentimes for like, you pay $15 and you get your hands on all of them for a month.
Right.
Roughly. And I agree. Like, I would be happy if Sony did any day one PC release, and I don't ever expect it from Nintendo. So it is kind of weird how we crap on Xbox all the time, but they're the only ones really giving us this sort of accessibility.
Right. And despite the fact that anyone can play this, you don't have to have an Xbox. Maybe they just don't know. I mean, that could be a point.
Well, they haven't been watching the Gaming Gig podcast.
I know, but like, you don't even have to have, not only do you not have to have an Xbox, you don't even have to have a PC. If you do have a PC, it could be something crappy because you could stream it because it's going to be available on cloud. And I think this might be a decent game to play through cloud. It might be okay. It may not be the best, but it's not going to be the worst either.
Yeah, no, I don't think it'll be that bad. I mean, it's not like it's a highly competitive FPS or something.
Right, exactly. So
I'm definitely going to play it a little bit on cloud on my Steam Deck just to see what it runs like.
Right. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it is very strange with a game with this much hype, with this much availability, that still only, less than 40% of people are planning on playing the game. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, we got another comment from Tay1A. Tay says, imagine having any faith in Bethesda after all of Todd Howard's lies. Well, I mean, in Todd Howard's defense, we could go to that mountain.
We could go to that mountain.
He was very specific about which mountain he pointed out, and I went to that mountain. I went to that mountain like 3 days in. Or less. I was obsessed.
Yeah. Another thing, I think Todd Howard is one of the big problems here. If you remember Fallout 76, not to keep harping on this, but I think it was, I actually went back and rewatched it this week, and it was the E3 2018, a presentation of Fallout 76. Todd Howard came out and actually did a really good job of making Fallout 76 seem awesome.
Yeah.
Selling the concept of it being this always online version of Fallout, where, your interactions and stuff, where that was like, man, he did a really good job selling it. He made it seem great.
Yeah. I remember that feeling.
Yeah. And then obviously that did not pan out. So here's the thing. It's like we've already had, and then I think to a smaller degree, but to a similar degree, you brought up the Skyrim thing about, you see that, you can go there. And it was like the one mountain you could actually climb in the game. And it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed like he was trying to pull the wool over our eyes.
Definitely.
And it seems like that's happened multiple times now. And now I think people are just like, you know what? I don't trust Todd Howard at all anymore.
So, I think you're right. Maybe it's a Todd Howard problem because I still can't believe that you say you've seen a growing negative sentiment about Skyrim, because clearly it can't be a Skyrim problem.
I have a theory on that.
It must have been the way it was presented that rubbed people the wrong way, because Skyrim was, sprawling and massive and full of places to explore. So maybe Todd Howard should have chosen his words a little more carefully, and maybe it has rubbed people the wrong way.
But he did the exact same thing again this time.
I know he did.
And
but this time it's true.
But we haven't played the game, Daniel.
I know.
But
I'm trying to be optimistic.
But it's like he did the exact same thing again. He's like, you see that planet where that that moon, you can go there.
Yeah.
He did the thing. Maybe he did it for the memes. Like
he might have.
I think he did. Because it was so like on the nose.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have my theory about the Skyrim thing, and we'll touch back on that later when we get into some comments about that. But yeah, it does feel like right now we have this, I noticed in the comments, there's this kind of this dichotomy of either people are like, I can't imagine ever being interested in this game after everything, Bethesda and Todd Howard have done, have basically lied to our faces. How could you trust them? And then the other side of it is like people being like, just super, super excited, and they can't believe that people aren't interested. Like this one comment here we got from Crimson Empire who said, guarantee you people who said no are bots or liars.
Or bots who lie.
Lying bots. Bots could probably play the game, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I would double down on it that hard. I think a lot of people are burned. But I do think there are probably a few liars in there.
I don't think there's any bots voting on our polls, personally.
Yeah.
I really highly doubt that.
I don't either.
But there probably are some, I don't know, liars. I like to assume that people are not lying. I think that they probably are, like you said, burned, and they right now are just mad about it.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean they're not going to secretly download it on Game Pass and try it anyway, or maybe play it? Who knows? Maybe. Yeah.
I would wager that no, it does not mean that.
I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe it'll do horrible numbers on Game Pass. Who knows? Maybe it'll just flop.
I doubt it.
Maybe it'll become
But I mean, it just...
Starfield.
Daniel really wants Starfield to be a thing.
No, I don't. I want the game to be a massive success. But if it's not, I want everybody to remember, I don't remember what day, it was many podcasts ago. We can go back and find it. I coined the phrase Starfield, and if Starfield fails and people start using it, it was on the Game and Gig podcast first.
You can check it out. It was definitely on us first. No one else has come up with that particular very clever play on words that no one else will think of. Guaranteed.
It was months ago. I'm just saying. It was a long time ago, and it was probably the highlight of my life. And if, I swear to God, if Woodhawker takes it from me.
Oh, he'll be the one too. He'll be the one. I swear to God, if Woodhawker steals it from me, I'm coming for you.
I'm coming to Australia.
He doesn't live in Australia.
I know, I'm just joking.
He hasn't in a very long time.
I know that, Randy. It was a joke.
Okay.
He lives in like Philadelphia or something now.
Yeah. So there has been a new controversy come up about Starfield, and just yesterday it popped up. And for the time the podcast, it'll be 2 days ago when this thing actually airs. But before we get to that, I want to tell you guys about our Discord server. We would love for you to join our Discord server. There's an invite link in the description of this podcast. It's a great place to hang out, just, talk games. We give people drop their gaming recommendations. Also, it's just cool to share if you've done anything cool with games. Share it. Also, recently, we've been sharing our coffee golf scores every day.
Coffee golf has taken off over at the Gaming Gig Discord server. It is a freaking jam, and I challenge anyone to beat my current record of 8 strokes.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either.
But we would love to see you on our Discord server. So just, go find that join link and hang out with us.
Heck yeah.
This new controversy.
Yeah, so yesterday, me and Randy were putting the gig in Gaming Gig, and then we came home, and I just relaxed for the evening, didn't consume any gaming news. Randy comes in here today, and he tells me, have you heard about this controversy about the Starfield title screen thing? And I was like, no, and he was like, well, I'll tell you on the podcast. So, Randy, that's your cue.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put up right now. This is the title screen. It's been leaked now because people have gotten review codes,
right?
And people are playing the game now, and the title screen leaked out. Okay, now you've got a real good look at it. Okay, here's the thing. People are saying that this title screen is indicative of the quality of the game, saying it is basic, the game is not ready to be put out, they had no time, the team has been rushed, and this title screen is the perfect encapsulation of the state of the game in that it is not ready to come out.
I think there's an awful lot of assumptions in that. But it is a simple. But simple's not bad. I don't think this is bad necessarily. I don't know what people do want. I don't know. I don't know what people do want.
People are saying that it's just like so basic.
Yeah.
That it's just like it's already saying like this game's going to be trash. You can just tell by looking at the title screen. I personally think that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think, yes, it's minimalistic. Okay.
That's a much kinder word.
Yeah, it's minimalistic.
Yeah.
But it kind of, I think it portrays the potential, like, the
openness.
The openness.
Yes.
Maybe the loneliness that comes with these big open spaces. And I think that it's understated, but I think that it could this may display a certain emotion that may be captured in the game.
Yeah, and you don't know what music's playing right now.
Yeah.
It could be people, have you forgotten about a little opening thing called Halo? Hello? If I remember right, I don't think it's that much different than this, and it had a freaking banger in the background with some like Gregorian chant crap. Hit me with the chants, Bethesda.
I don't think they're going to be hitting you with any Gregorian chants here. Maybe though. I would,
That would be too on the nose.
That would.
But I'm just saying, like, hit me with a vibe, and I'm cool with this.
I don't know. I kind of suspect it's going to be very like minimalistic music to accompany this, if I had to guess. But I think that it is just ridiculous that people are looking at this and saying like, it's obvious this game is not ready for release based purely on a title screen leak.
Right.
Are you looking at the Halo title screen?
Yeah, I just pulled up the Halo title screen, and it's basically the same. It's not
same.
Well, no, but it has even less. That's what I'm saying. Like, it says Halo in big letters. It's got a real dark background that's kind of spacey, and then it's got your like mode selections in the center as opposed to the left. So like, and it didn't exactly flop.
Not exactly. I mean, I've heard a lot of people bring up the fact that like Elden Ring's title screen just says Elden Ring.
Sure.
And it's like super basic.
Didn't exactly flop.
No. And so I just think that it's a little ridiculous. I think people are just looking for reasons to say that this game is broken. A great example of this is our next comment we have from Vin, who said, have an Xbox, but also zero interest in this game. Getting massive, going to be crap on release vibes from everything I've seen on it. Maybe after 2 years of it being released, I'll try it, but def not year one.
What have people seen that I haven't seen?
Are we looking at the same game?
Do y'all remember? You're making my voice get high. I'm getting emotional here.
Do you not remember?
Do you not remember the most recent Xbox thing, whatever it is? We streamed it or something like that, and they did the Star. I can't even talk. The Starfield feature thing at the end.
It was like 45 minutes.
And we loved it.
Yeah.
And you loved it too.
We came into the podcast like the next day or two, and we were like, okay, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I just don't know what we're seeing different. I mean, like, I don't know. I think that the reason that, I don't want to put words in your mouth here, Vin, but I'm assuming that the reason you're going to be crap on release vibes from it is because it's Bethesda. I really do think that that's it. I think it's just the history of Bethesda. Even Skyrim, we all know, was pretty buggy.
Well, they always release buggy games.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't release buggy games, and Starfield's going to have bugs.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's going to suck.
Right.
And that doesn't mean it can't be fixed even faster nowadays than it could back in the day. So,
yeah, I don't know.
I think every one of y'all just need to get off the internet, and all you need to do is put the Gaming Gig podcast like a bookmark on your desktop. That way, when you go to the internet, it takes you straight here. And then as soon as you're done with the episode, just X out of it and don't read anything else.
You think that we're going to be the only source you need?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think you'll be very uninformed if you do that. Well, what I'm saying is you'll avoid the negativity swirling around Starfield, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to let you read the next comment because I think you're going to like it.
Oh, I already read it. Mad Havoc says, nah, the game is unfinished.
It's like, how would you know the game is unfinished at this point?
I think Mad must work at Bethesda.
It must.
I mean, I think he's bros with Todd, and I think Todd sent him a Telegram message, and he said, Mr. Havoc, the game is unfinished.
It's unfinished, but we're shipping it anyway.
We're shipping it anyway, and P.S., you can't go to that moon.
Do you think that the fact that Bethesda says that this is going to be their most polished game ever is like actually a scary thing?
Probably. Yeah, probably. And I'm taking a very pro Starfield stance right now because I don't see what it's done to deserve this yet.
I don't either. It's not out yet.
But I do completely understand the hesitancy. I just don't understand really cut and dry blanket statements like that. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that, like, I don't think they deserve any of the hate, but one thing I don't like is, it's kind of touched on this next comment. Spartan Flyboy said, I'm not touching a pre-order from Bethesda. I'll let the reviews come out and then decide.
I think that is reasonable.
That's reasonable, but what I don't like is that they're doing this like early access thing, right? And it's basically like I think it's like a week early. I think if you buy the game, if you pre-order the game, which of course you have to do digitally,
right?
If you pre-order the game, you get early access for the first week. I don't like that. I don't like that for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
One that excludes anyone who wants to buy the game physically, which is very annoying. And I know they want you to buy it digitally because they make way more money that way.
Yeah.
But it's still very annoying. And then also, if you have Game Pass and you were planning on playing this game day one through Game Pass as it being a perk of your Game Pass service that you pay monthly for.
Right.
And then now you don't have early access just because if you do, you have to actually pre-order the game.
Yeah.
Is there do they have a separate thing where you can just pay for the early access? Did I miss that?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
If they had an extra fee that you could play it through Game Pass, but you could also get early access, I don't think so.
And I mean, another thing that I don't like about it is it could essentially be a very last minute paid beta. I mean, if the people who bought it early access get it and realize that it is just broken, Bethesda's scrambling to get it fixed before the real day one.
Yeah.
And then all those people that paid the money, it's not a good experience. I mean,
we've seen this more and more where we're getting these early access for digital things. The most recent one I can remember that was really big was the most recent Diablo game did that, where it was you had a week or maybe it was even 2 weeks. It was a long early access period.
Yeah.
For Diablo, for if you pre-ordered it digitally, and I just think that it's just, I don't know. I just don't like that. It puts a bad taste in my mouth about the game because I'm I want to play the game either physically or through Game Pass, and it just feels weird that I'm not going to be able to play it when everyone else is. I just feel like I'm being punished for not wanting to buy it digitally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You are. That's why it feels that way.
And it's and it's a $70 game on top of that. So if you pre-order it, it's $70. And it's okay, if you want to play through Game Pass, you can buy your $10, $15 subscription, whichever one you want to get. And that's much cheaper than $70, obviously. And it just, I don't know. It just feels very money grubby. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Money grubby. Grabbing the money with your grubby little hands.
That's right.
But before we move on, we need to plug the Twitch. So we stream on Twitch 3 days a week. We stream on Tuesdays, we stream on Thursdays, we stream on Sundays. Right now we're streaming Super Smash Bros., Rocket League, and Mario Kart in that order. You should come hang out with us. You should throw us a follow. We're closing in on 150 follows, and it's a good time over there. We've got a bunch of regulars that pop in. Got some people from all over the globe. It's a good time.
It is. And it's 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
So come hang out with us on Twitch. If you join our Discord server, whenever we go live on Twitch, one of our channels is kind of just dedicated to letting you know when we go live on Twitch. So.
Yep. And you can play with us.
Oh, yeah. That's even better. You can see if someone can finally take down Daniel in Super Smash Bros.
People take me down in Super Smash Bros. All the time.
The thing is, we have some people who play Mario Kart with us, and they are beasts.
Yeah.
They're really good. I'm not that great. All right, so let's change our conversation just a little bit, still related, but over to Skyrim.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I think that recently it just feels like people's attitudes towards Skyrim have kind of changed, saying that one, it hasn't held up that well, which I think that is kind of true. I don't think the game has held up quite as well as other games.
Yeah, I think that's true as well.
Yeah. I think that what a lot of things that Skyrim established or kind of, spearheaded, other games have done better now. So it's not, but you have to remember it is one of those games that really did kind of bring a lot of the conventions that we associate with these open world fantasy games. Like Skyrim created that in a lot of ways.
And there are a lot of people who still say it's amazing. So just because we don't think it held up as well for us doesn't mean that you won't.
Right. And I played Skyrim way late.
That's true. You did.
I tried playing it earlier on, and I just got barely into the game and just, for whatever reason dropped it. And then I came back and played it years and years later. When it came out in 2011.
Yeah.
I think I played it in 2020.
Oh yeah.
So, and I enjoyed the game, but it definitely did not blow me away in any way. I thought it was fine. It was pretty good. If I had played in 2011, I probably would have thought it was really, really awesome.
I think you would have.
Right. But I think one of the reasons that my personal hypothesis on why people have started being upset about Skyrim is the fact that it's still being sold for in a lot of places, especially on Switch, for like $60 still. It's like still expensive, and Bethesda still sees it as a very valuable game, and they know that people are willing to pay that much for it.
Yeah.
I think people
$60 in 2023 for Skyrim is a little excessive.
Yeah.
But it is one of the best games ever made.
Right.
I'll say that. No problem.
I think it's kind of like in the same vein as we just got, the Red Dead port to Switch, and it's $50, and people are really upset about that. I think the Skyrim price being so high on Switch has really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, like, and Skyrim has been on Switch since day one, and it's still really expensive. It's just kind of ridiculous. I don't know what it costs to buy Skyrim on, like...
I'm looking it up on Steam. It ain't going to be $60.
Surely it's not going to be
It's $39.99.
So it's still $40 even on Steam. Ooh.
Yeah, but it goes on sale.
It does. But still, $40, even... I mean, we're talking... It's been 12 years. And it's still, a pretty expensive game. I think the fact that they have not discounted that game that much is rubbing people wrong,
Yeah, because you can get The Witcher 3 for... Okay, it's also regular $39.99, but I got it on sale for like $9 or something. Mm-hmm. So...
Witcher 3 is also expensive on Switch, too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people love Switch. You got to remember, like, Switch is one of the best-selling consoles of all time. And right now, it probably is the most popular console that people play games on.
Yeah.
So when you're... And the only way you can play, like games like Skyrim, for a lot of people is going to be on Switch. And if it's really expensive, I don't know.
Then there you go. You get their money.
And that's why we have people like thinking that, Rockstar with the new Red Dead port, they see that just as, them, twirling the little mustache, collecting all the money. And it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
People are going to be upset about it.
People are upset about everything. But we got a comment here from MK Lee, who said, spent the last 8 years wandering Skyrim under the illusion of having fun. Wandering Skyrim under the illusion of having fun. Why would I waste money on an Xbox so I could be just as miserable for the next 8 years?
There you go.
So,
I think there's a lot to unpack here.
There is.
Yeah.
Did you just get sad too? Because I just got sad.
I didn't get so sad. I don't have as deep of a connection to Skyrim as you do.
I got sad because you just told me you spent 8 years wandering around Skyrim, and you're telling me now that you didn't have any fun.
I don't know, man.
Why'd you do it for 8 years then?
I think a lot of people... I don't want to just put words in people's mouths, but I think a lot of people... for a lot of people, Skyrim is sort of like one of those de facto games. Like, you just kind of, like, it's one of the games that everyone...
It's required reading.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And...
I agree.
Not a whole lot of people have, money to buy a whole lot of games, so they might buy it and then feel like they need to play it, and then...
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. If you were able to spend 8 years playing Skyrim, I think you got your money's worth.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, I get it. Like, people don't want to spend money on games willy-nilly, and you might buy Skyrim and you might not love it. Mm-hmm. But in the next 8 years, I feel pretty confident that if you're commenting on a gaming podcast, you probably bought another game in those 8 years.
Probably.
Which makes me think, well, why did you keep coming back to Skyrim for 8 years?
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of this, I really do think that the conversation about Skyrim is shifting. I think people are kind of looking at it as maybe it's, I don't know. It just seems like it's negative, and maybe it's just all Bethesda. Maybe it's just like everything about Bethesda is negative, But so it just like it gets lumped in. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's it.
But you get the next one.
Yeah. This next comment is from Watch and Learn, who said, "Nah, I'm not playing anything Bethesda until The Elder Scrolls 6. I'm pretty angry it's been 12 years since Skyrim and will likely have been 20 when it releases." Mm-hmm. Maybe that's another thing. People are just mad because
it's not Elder Scrolls?
Well, I mean, yes, about Skyrim. I mean, about Starfield. Mm-hmm. They're mad that they're not getting the next Elder Scrolls game. Yeah. And maybe that's another reason why people are just peeved about Skyrim. It's like it's been so long that they're just kind of mad at the whole idea of it.
Right. Well, I loved Oblivion and Skyrim. Those are the two Elder Scrolls games I played. But, before I even played those, I loved Fallout. And Fallout is not medieval. You know, it's closer maybe to a Starfield than a Elder Scrolls, but they're all going to be very different. But you know, after playing Fallout, all I wanted was like a Fallout in space, like a Bethesda RPG in space, and so I'm getting what I wanted when I was like 20 years old. So, you know, that's maybe a reason why I'm excited about Starfield, and I don't care that it's not Elder Scrolls because it's literally what I asked for. But I do want another Elder Scrolls. But
Yeah.
come on, just be open-minded.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that it's interesting here. They're saying, like, I'm not going to play anything until we get another Elder Scrolls game, and I'm mad about it. But, you know, like, they put a lot of time into Starfield, so, like, maybe you might enjoy it if you really enjoyed Skyrim.
Yeah.
And it's weird that you'd wait till the next Elder Scrolls out of, like, I guess a protest. I don't know, that seems strange to me.
By then you're going to be like, it's been 32 years since Skyrim and I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm not buying this.
Right.
You know, I mean...
Look, I mean, games take a long time to develop now.
Yeah.
And they didn't even start, like, work on Elder Scrolls 6, I think, they announced it at that 2018 E3. That's when they announced that it was, like, starting development. So at that point, now it's been 5 years. And I know that it's going to take more than 5 years to develop the Elder Scrolls 6. It's just going to. It may be a 10-year cycle. It really may be. I don't think it's going to be 20 years later, but I do think it's probably potentially going to be up to something like 17 years. I hope
Which
not.
is too damn long for a game, like, you know, for a franchise like Elder Scrolls that everybody loves.
It may not. Maybe they can get it out. I don't know how long they worked on Starfield. I know it's...
I hope they worked on it till it was squeaky clean.
Yeah. I don't think... see, and I think that's the thing. You know what? Another reason I think Starfield worries people? I think No Man's Sky is a problem. Because we got this really overly hyped space game that did not deliver at all at launch.
Wait, you mean the No Man's Sky that people universally love now?
Dude, I tried to play that game. I did not like it. I tried to play it recently and did not like it.
It has a great reputation now.
Yeah, but at first, it did not. You bought it when it came out, and you were like very negative.
Yeah, I was burned.
Yeah.
But I also I kind of want to try it out now, but I won't because Starfield's coming out. So that's going to kind of scratch that itch for me.
I tried to play it. I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know what it was. It just
you don't always, you know, strike me as the, like, drop into a super open-ended game kind of person. You know, like, I don't know that that's always your niche.
It's not. I mean, like, I can enjoy some of those games, but you're right in that it's not really my thing. I like a tighter package, something that's a little more, you know, curated and, you know, kind of delivers an experience that I think they want you to, you know, something that's actually put together. And
yeah,
I don't know.
And I don't think No Man's Sky is that.
No, it's not. I think it's got to be like, you got to go into it and you got to, like, create your own head canon and, like, you know, kind of like create your own adventure and feel like, okay, I'm really doing this. I'm really going to live this.
And I, like, that used to be my jam, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Even when I was a young kid playing Smash 64, I would, like, come up with, like, these fake narratives and, like, put on these battles. Like, I was an only child, if you didn't figure that out. So
pretty obvious.
I had to lean on my imagination, you know?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a brother that would just, like, come in and Charlie horse me in the middle of it and then we'd fight.
I definitely did.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that there are a lot of things. I think just to kind of sum up the conversation about Starfield, I think that people have just been so burned by Bethesda that I think that until it comes out, you know, well, I should say, we have two things that's either going to happen. Either it's going to come out and it's going to be really buggy and people are going to say, I told you so, it's trash. And then at that point, Bethesda's got a real issue.
Real issue.
I really do.
Trouble in River City.
Because it seems like Fallout 76 broke Bethesda, and they have this one chance to redeem themselves, in my mind.
I agree with that.
So either that's going to happen, or it's going to come out and it's going to be good, and you know, then we'll see the conversation shift about Starfield. But until it comes out and it proves itself, I think it's just going to be negative.
Yeah, but you know, if it does come out and it sucks, and it, you know, breaks Bethesda, do you know what my next move for Bethesda is? Buy Elder Scrolls 6 whenever it comes out.
Because you're just like... But yeah, but it's so many years have passed that you're going to be ready to be burned again.
Exactly.
I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah. But I really hope that's not the case. I hope they prove us all wrong for our hesitancy. Mm-hmm. And I hope we can look back at this podcast and be like, we were the light in the dark.
Well, I do think that the game we need to allow the game to prove itself. Mm-hmm. I really do think that.
Yeah.
I don't think we should just assume it's going to be crap just because it's Bethesda and just because Todd Howard told us it was going to be great.
Right.
Because he's done that. And it's just like...
He has done that. Dan bought the Starfield controller. Did you know that?
I did not know that. It looks cool.
He said it's awesome.
It looks really cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We just need to let the game prove itself, and then we'll see. We'll have, obviously, once we get our hands on the game, we'll be here talking about it. So. Mm-hmm.
We will.
Yeah. So
for better or for worse.
That's right. But I think that kind of brings us towards the end here. And now that we've made it towards the end, let me tell you, if you make it all the way to the end of this podcast, we want to shout you out and thank you for making it all the way to the end and hanging out with us on the end of our next podcast.
Heck yeah. We do that through our 3 for Dale Club. It is our exclusive club for people who just suffer through all of our mindless drivel. And all you have to do to be a part of it is leave us a comment on the YouTube version of this podcast and say whatever the heck you want, but, big but, include the phrase 3 for Dale.
Yep, that's our code phrase that lets us know that you made it all the way to the end, and then we'll shout you out at the end of the next podcast. But now we got to shout the people who made it to the end of the last podcast.
That's right. So
at least the people who were commented who made it.
Yes. The people who had the strength left to type on a keyboard after listening to us talk about whatever the heck we talked about a week ago. So leading off the 3 for Dale Club is D18. Thank you for coming back, D18.
D18's always here for us. We got a new one and someone who has been very active in the Discord server this week, and that is Kitaclysm.
Yeah, Kit's been playing coffee golf with us, and Kit's just kind of wallered themselves out a role in the Gaming Gig Discord.
And it's awesome.
It is. Next up, we got Bobbity, the wizard who released Majin Buu into the world.
Back again in the 3 for Dale Club. Next, we got the Laninator. Old Laninator.
We love
also
a
staple at the Discord.
That's right.
Yeah.
And rounding it out, no surprise to you, no surprise to me, no surprise to y'all, is Landon Stallings.
Yep. The king of the 3 for Dale Club. Some people just call him Dale.
That's right.
All right. Well, guys, until next time, I'm Randy.
And I'm Daniel.
This has been Gaming Gig.
Peace out.